So I had an experience when I read, let's see if I can find the book. When I read this book, Pronoia. Has anyone read this book? It's one of my favorites. It's by Rob Brezney. It's called Pronoia. If you haven't heard the word pronoia is the opposite of paranoia. Pronoia is the belief that the world is, not the world. Pronoia is the belief that the universe is conspiring in your favor. How awesome is that? Doesn't that just describe everything I said at the beginning of this talk, or at the beginning of this hour? So, I read this book, and it's not something you need to read through. You can pick and choose anything in it and just go, whoa, whoa, that's awesome, that's awesome. And it talks a lot about how what we consider news in our culture is what's going wrong, but take a moment and focus on what's going right. That's kind of what this book just really refocuses on, all the things that are going right, all the things that are going right, all the things that are going right. And it's so whimsical and fun, and his writing style is crazy awesome. And when I got it, I first was so overjoyed, and then I got really in a funk because I realized this is better than the book that I wanted to write. What's the point? I'll just say what he said. What he said. And then, as I was in my woe, I started to say, well, maybe I'll just try to support him more and, link to his stuff more. And the more I got into his stuff, the more I realized, you know what? I don't overlap 100% with him. And his delivery doesn't really resonate that much with me. I love his words in this book, but he does other stuff, and he has other styles, and his in-person delivery just doesn't click with me, really. And my cousin had the same experience. She actually went to go see him speak, and I go, how was it? And she goes, I think I liked him better before I saw him speak, And I was like, oh. Now, not saying anything wrong with Rob Brezney, because again, mad genius who I will say what he said. But what it did for me was open up this kind of possibility, like, wait a minute. Different people resonate with different things. I had the same experience, I remember I talked a couple weeks ago about seeing the guru who's in charge of the Science of Spirituality Church. And as he spoke, and I'm like, oh, these ideas are the same ones that Rob Brezney talks about, that Alan Watts talks about, that Eckhart Tolle talks about, with their own spin on them. So we're all talking about our flavor of truth, and different people resonate with it different ways. So some people, Rob Brezney is like, perfect, wow! Some people, like, if I hear somebody say the exact same message, but it's wrapped around really Christian wording, in a certain volume and talking like this, I'm probably not going to really, it's not going to resonate with me. But the same message coming out of the word of, some small brown man in a saffron robe, and all of a sudden it's like, yes! And so different messengers telling the same thing in different ways is what we need. And so I'm like, wait a minute, that means for some people, maybe the way they need to hear the exact same things is through a pink-haired guy who goes to Burning Man. So I can keep doing what I want to do. I can keep, following this path that feels like truth, even though, I'll never be the smartest, the best, the most evolved, the anything, I will always be sub the best. But if I'm coming from service, then me as tool can be used however the universe needs me to be used. And if it's as a grand messenger, awesome. If it's as a small messenger, awesome. If it's as, keeping me in front of my webcam to keep me out of the way of people who are doing better work, that's fine too. But it was a really liberating feeling to realize, I don't have ownership. No one does. And if you're coming from the right place, then you would be happy for anyone who is trying to share similar ideas, not feeling like, oh, I think you stole my metaphor, or whatever that is.